What have I done this time? This is what I've done this time. All these old machines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 old computers. This one here being the newest. Pentium 4s. No, sorry. Those two are Core 2 Duos. This down here is a Pentium 4. I missed it, so there's actually 13 computers here. That's a server rack. Or a rack mount server anyway. Yeah, it's a little warm out here right now, so I got my box fans in triplicate over here. Making a nice cool breeze, I guess. Well, it's not even really a cool breeze right now. It is actually really kind of hot breeze. But yeah, I got these speakers. These are Zenith Allegro RCAs, Sansui? I'm not sure how to say that. S-A-N-S-U-I, Sansui, whatever. Cerwin Vegas, JVCs. This one is... Oh, these are Pioneers. Oh, older Pioneers, okay. This one... some piece of shit that nobody knows anything about because there's no brand name or model or anything on these at all. So, some off-brand, whatever. Anyway, there's this gigantic laser printer, keyboards on top of keyboards on top of keyboards, an original Xbox with controllers, no games though, 4 LCD monitors, 3 of them I believe were IBM. What is this one? Yep, okay, 3 are IBM and 1's an Acer. There's this little guitar amplifier. It's well, there you go. It is okay. It doesn't have a model or anything, but it's wide open on the back, so that can't be all that great. I think there's supposed to be something back there, but I have no idea. I don't know anything about amps. I got that from the last sale. That's not part of it. Cables and cables and cables, and in this tote, more cables. So that's awesome, I guess. Not really. Yeah, that's pretty much it, actually. Just a bunch of speakers and computers that now I have to deal with somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know what I'm going to do with them all. Some of them are actually server mainboards, so there's maybe something to be had about that. There's one, I think it might be, okay, actually right there, why am I, okay, this big one right here, this is a Compaq server. It's Pentium 3, the slot 1 style Pentium 3s, and takes RDRAM, which is something I haven't seen in a long time, but used to be the leading server memory, I guess, maybe. But it has 68-pin SCSI disk drives in it, which is something I also haven't seen much of in a long time since, well, I played with a whole bunch of them back in my junior and senior years in high school. But that's the last time I messed with 68-pin SCSI drives at all. I have a couple of 50 pins that I use on my old Mac, but 68s, I haven't seen those in a long time. So, yeah, they might have a good controller card in there, I'm not sure. If not, I have a good one, so, yeah. So I'm going to get all these computers in here. I have no idea where I'm going to put them. Probably just like stack them along this row here, so there's no possible way I can get to my recliner or anything else. Oh, last estate sale. Oh, wait, I mentioned this already. Never mind. So yeah, I'm still working on last estate sale stuff. And putting all this new stuff in here is just going to be a total mess. But at least there's no media. None. No records, no tapes, no CDs, no nothing. No 8-tracks. No VHS, no DVD. So that's actually something new that happened. Because usually I at least come out with maybe 1 or 2 tapes or CDs or something, but never nothing. Dirty lens. So I'm going to get to that and we'll check out and see what's going on with all them computers in a minute here. I'm never going to be able to stop this, am I? It is positively pouring into my carport right now. The whole darn thing's gonna end up flooded in a couple minutes if this rain keeps up the way it is right now. It's not gonna take long at all. Yep, just reached the crack. And now is spilling over into the original section of the carport. At quite a high rate of speed, I might add. Yeah, so that's just wonderful. Just totally great. Amazing how all of my excavation has had absolutely no effect at all on the overall drainage from the looks of it. Well, it's still draining down there, just not enough. Would you, man, June bug, stop bouncing off my ish? Well, I'm gonna try to back my, well, maybe I won't. I needed a clean windshield anyway, didn't I? What a mess. Look how deep it is. It's already getting to about a ½ inch deep. There's just not enough bandwidth. Yeah. In the meantime, in here, I've got all these computers set up and checking them out. I'm now on the 3rd server system. All these speakers over here. Yeah. These are the JVCs. They're in really good shape. They work well. These are the Cerwin Vegas. They do not look good at all. And you think that one's bad? Just the surround's bad on this one. This one has fully fallen apart. So yeah, I'm not gonna be keeping those most likely. They look like 12s, and I don't think I have any spare 12s anywhere, so that's gonna suck. But these are some nice looking boxes, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might just make a wall of speakers, like as tall as they are right now. I mean, you look at that. They're almost touching the ceiling. And those are the only two I checked out so far because they're the easiest to get the surrounds or the covers off of. And of course the RCAs are actually in good condition and actually sound good too, surprisingly enough. So that's cool. But anyway, I'm going to go back to my server systems over here while the thunder explodes outside. Check out this RAM. It's blue. It's pretty. And I've got a couple more over here, along with all of my other spare RAM chips. Yeah, this here is our DRAM. Yeah, it's very different from all the other types of RAM I deal with on a regular basis. The old style SD RAM, which came after the 72-pin SEMs. And then we have the 168-pin DDR. And then we have 184-pin DDR2. I do not have any DDR3. All I have is up to DDR2 because none of my desktops run anything newer than that. Like that desktop over there runs DDR2 and that's it. This is the only computer I own that runs DDR3 at all. So that Lenovo over there runs DDR3 and I don't have any RAM for it. So that kind of sucks, but oh well. It also doesn't have a hard drive or any SATA cables for the DVD drives. Apparently they stripped that machine all to death. But anyway, I've just been doing my testing on this Acer monitor, which has a bit of a dent in it, really. Let's start it up. Listen to these drives. Noisy suckers, and I love it. So this thing starts itself up. It's currently got 768 megas of RAM, And this is where it gets stuck. It goes no further than this right here. It just kind of keeps on doing this bit all the way across. It does nothing else. So I'm not going to worry about that. I don't need pfSense anyway. This sucker's got 4 network cards plus the onboard network card. I thought that was pretty cool. But okay, I'm going to shut up now and put this system back together. I love these old Compaq cases because they're so easy to work with. But yeah, so I'm thinking I might go ahead and take the RAM out of this computer and go ahead and stick it in that one, because this is the one with 2 CPUs and 8 open RDRAM slots. So that'll be great to work with, and I'll have a grand total of 1.25 terabytes. 1.25 gigabytes in that computer, so that would be really neat to have. The only thing is, they're Pentium 3 XEONs, Xeons, I don't even know how you say that, I call them XEONs. 866 megahertz, and there's 2 of them, so I'm not sure if it would even run 64-bit processes, but it does have 2 PCI-X slots. I'm not talking about PCI Express, it's a totally different thing. So I don't know, we'll see what happens if I can get anything 64-bit on it, maybe. Don't know, maybe I'll make that my new server. I don't need anything super powerful or anything. I know! It's freaking 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm still playing with these stupid computers. And now I'm gonna shut this thing down and the hard drives are gonna go click. Well, I just powered this beast up and didn't really look at the inside before I did, aside from noting that it didn't have a video card, so I had to scavenge one from my own little collection of PCI and ISA and PCI Express cards. But what you don't expect to find in any computer system is that right there. Frickin' mud dauber nest attached to the back of the 5 1/4 floppy drive. What the heck? So yeah, that's awesome. Thankfully it's dead, so there's nothing flying out of it. Yeah, great. And this here is one of the last boards ever made that supports both AMD and Intel CPUs, and currently has an AMD in it, but I might switch that with one of my Pentium 1 200 megahertz CPUs. I've got a couple in the back room. But it works. The computer works pretty well. So I don't know. I might keep it. I might not. I have my own P1 already. It's got a 233 megahertz in it that I like better. I might just take one of these cases, because this one's just about the same over here. Haven't tested it yet. I might just take one of these boards and put mine in it instead. So we'll see what happens. Who would have thought that an Intel Core i7 based computer running Windows 7 would be able to interface with a Pentium 1 at 233 megahertz running Windows 98 2nd edition, because that's exactly what is happening right now. This computer, my MSI laptop, is copying files from the hard drive on here over my network and into this computer. This drive, to be exact. I've got my 212 megabyte drive down here. That runs DOS and Windows 3.1. This 1 gig drive is my storage drive for programs and all other sorts of stuff. And this is my Windows 98 drive. So that's working out pretty well. Got a nice blue heat sink on the CPU and old ISA soundboard, 3COM LAN card, and actually has an HEP port, which surprised me. Accelerated graphics port. Yeah, I'm totally doing overboard on that. Yeah, so I've got my ATI 3D Rage Pro AGP2X card in there. 8 meg video card. It's working alright. So these folders are just appearing as things progress, and you'll notice my programs file is a little weird right now. It's Prograsm instead. I don't know why, but for some reason it would not copy it named Programs. It would not accept it. It was saying on here that there was already a file called Programs on this computer when the drive had been fully formatted. So I don't know what that was all about, but with the rename folder it's working fine now. I'm wondering maybe it had something to do with my drive label. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, everything is accessible in Windows 98. I got my boot drive down here. Like I said, that's a 212 meg, which actually only 171's left of. But there you go. Eventually I'm going to get this Windows 98 fully updated and everything, and we'll deal with that. But just throwing that update out there. I've got my Asus P2B-F board in this case underneath the P1, and a couple new additions to that computer actually. I have a tape drive, as in audio cassette tape, not backup tape. It's one of those plus deck 2C things you see advertised, well, you used to see advertised for copying cassette tapes to MP3s directly or something like that. I picked that up at one of the estate sales and decided, oh, what the heck, I'll throw it in here. Yeah, so that's great. This case worked out great once I modified the power supply stock location. Yeah, there's a little bit of a space there because the power supply for the server is quite a bit bigger than a standard ATX power supply. Like you'll notice, there's a standard ATX power supply and there's the server power supply. Server power supply is a little bit larger and all the mounting holes are different, so I had to drill mounting holes and it worked. And then I replaced the LEDs with blue LEDs, so it looks good too. But I'm not going to start it up right now because monitor is connected to the P1, keyboard, mouse, you know, all that fun stuff, so it's all good. This one took a little bit of finagling to get the 5 1/4 floppy drive connected to the 3 1/2 floppy drive, and the cable routing is all sorts of interesting because there's actually two cables. This cable that goes down to the main board actually has another cable plugged into it going over to the 5 1/4 drive. Yeah, it's all very strange, but it works for the moment. So, yeah, I'm gonna shut up now. That was the end of that. It's with some sadness that I say goodbye to this particular motherboard I'm looking at right now. It had issues in its final day. So, Micronics Twister AT, model number 0900317. Really difficult to find a manual for this thing to begin with. And then memory errors. This thing, I don't know what was up with it, what changed. I switched out the RAM to different DIMMs. I switched out to SIMs even. This thing would get as far as the memory test in post, and it would go no further. It wouldn't even finish the memory test. I switched out hard drives. I ran it with no hard drives. I switched out the video card twice. Switched out floppy drives. Ran it with no floppy drives. I even switched out to 2 different CPUs, and this thing just would not work. So now the CPU socket has been removed. And right now, it is home to a pair of AMD K6-2s. That's how I keep my CPUs from getting electrostatic. But anyway, this board is finished. The pins have been bent down, and this board will never be used again. And it's sad, because this is the very first motherboard I ever personally owned. Brought it home March 30th, 2005. So, we've had a good 12-year run, off and on, but Time to say goodbye. I don't think this chipset's going to be doing anything else for the rest of its time. Neither is this motherboard. Nope. Not doing anything else in its life. Now, it's going to the dump in its death.